I've been consistent with my opinion, maybe reinforced by data available to me, that PDP will recover and PDP will bounce back. Maybe not in the big, formidable hegemonic, form it was in 98, 99, but in a reasonable shape to fight the 2027 political battle, the contest for the presidency, with enormous tools at its disposal, powerful strategic tools at its disposal. And leading the charge, I said from the beginning, will be the governor of Bauchi State, Senator Bala Mohammed, who happens to be the chairman of the governor's group. Because parties are composed of institutional entities, interlocking, interdependent entities. The governor's forum seems to be the most important and most powerful by virtue of being the legislative heads at the subnational level. The BOT is very important, but as a moral, the conscience of the party. The NWC of the PDP was racked by factional infighting for 2 years. So it was a little bit weak. So with the National Assembly caucus, that left the governor's forum as the preeminent center of gravity of the party's search for recovery. And Senator Bala Mohammed led the charge with a sense of devotion, a sense of equanimity of character and soul, and a sense of competence and patience and perseverance from me previously unmatched in our contemporary political experience in the past couple of years. Because it was a very dire situation the party was in. Lost the 23 election, governors, they walked away even during that period and supported the other candidate who eventually won in person of APC, Bola Tinubu. Now, inheriting such a party that was almost like a carcass, a shell of his self, was difficult to manage, but he did it very well. He had fought with his fellow governors, he mobilized resources, both human and logistic. And today, the party has had a series of NEC meetings, had brought the national secretary position back into focus, and ultimately slated November 2025 to be the period of his elective national convention. Nobody ever thought in the past 1 year that PDP will get to that level in which the convention of the party will be held with almost everybody in sync, minus a few individuals who want to consider as poisonous, traitors who want to destabilize the party. The rest of the party rank, leadership, and the common run of people, they are completely committed to this. That is why the party had to take that step to zone the presidency to the south. It's a strategic, political maneuver that will position itself very well in two regards. One, as a moral force, as a moral imperative to say a president of the southern expression is already in office. He's going to spend 4 years to 2027. And you need a southerner, but not him. Somebody else who is better than him, who perform better for the country, to be there for 4 years till 2031. That's understanding. So it is not surprising that PDP, for example, is saying, if I'm going to take power under any condition, in any party whatsoever, it is going to be 4 years I will spend 1/10 to balance out the 8 years of the South in order to have a seamless re-entry of the North in 2031. Bala Mohammed appreciated that. He has the presidential ambition. He has infrastructure, nationwide infrastructure. He has a machinery already running. But he said all that will come to an end. It's screeching hot. For the good of the party, the good of the country, for the good of our democracy, I will suspend my ambition. And if rather not like PDP will suspend his. So we can have a southern person to emerge as our candidate and hopefully win the next election. Already, as you pointed out in your question, a lot of names have been tossed around. Seyi Makinde, for example, is the governor for Oyo State. He's a second-term governor. He's eminently qualified to go for the presidency, possibly to represent a better variant of the Yoruba nation of the Southwest extraction, more than the one we have now. We have PDP, who was a candidate of the party, who was an aspirant in the party up until 2022, when they left now to embrace the Labour Party option and did very well in 2023. He may come back to the party again. I'm sure people are talking to him, leaders of the party, to come back and see what they can do with it. And of course, the former President Jonathan, a global leader now, preeminent African statesman and a Nigerian statesman, who was the last president of the party, who from all indications, party leaders are already talking to him. People are now looking at him with a sense of nostalgia, with a sense that, oh my God, if he were to come back, we have in a nation, if we come back to power, the nation will be reinfused with that sense of democratic urgency, that sense of a measured, liberal democratic journey, that sense of a relaxed presidency that's accommodating to every shade of opinion, that sense of compassion and consensus building, that sense in which you'll be attacked and vilified, and you take it well in your chin. So, and again, how did he leave the economy? How did he leave our social fabric? How did he leave our security apparatus, our security architecture, our security, the geography of nation security system? These are the things people remember, and they said, oh my God, bring back, like some young people I read here and there. from the northeast to the northwest, maybe north central, saying BBOG, almost a take of bring back our gas. I say bring back our good luck. It's a campaign that is getting a momentum. I don't know where it is coming from. I believe that with a recovered PDP in 2025 November convention, and possibly if they succeed in getting the likes of PDP or Jonathan, former President Jonathan, come on board, and any of them takes the ticket, Shane back in the other political party, apparatuses will come around the PDP as they should to have a very dominant center, that's going to give a fight to this, government in power. But let me make another observation. Of late, he found that the presidency of Bola Tinubu and the party he's in charge of, the APC, have decided now to form a habit of taking part of other people's headache. As I said, you find their screaming headline of nation. Why Jonathan will not contest to bring something about it? It is not your duty to talk about Jonathan. In another party, he was at least a president of Nigeria under the PDP instruction. Suddenly, a city minister Kayemo has left his enormous responsibilities in the aviation sector. For me, that's basically faltered, where people can't even fly, except the super rich can fly domestically in Nigeria today. Tackle such issues. No, they will not tackle it. It's that Jonathan has the legal problem and the challenge. PDP, don't make a mistake to fail him. Are you advisor of the PDP? Focus on your government and your responsibility as a minister. Leave the party to make a mistake. I thought that the APC should keep quiet and allow the PDP to slow walk itself into disaster. And at the end of the day, they say, my God, we saw it coming, but we kept quiet. Like the president said, I'm enjoying the crisis in all the parties because it suits me. Say, Jonathan presidency, if you're going to become checkmated by the court, say the APC. Why are the ones screaming every day? Please don't do this. P2P, if he becomes a candidate of the party, it's going to be disaster. Let the party have him and let there be disaster. So the message is for APC to win. That's where the problem, the logic of this conversation with APC and the presidency stems from. I do not know the calculus behind this kind of illogical reasoning, where somebody is struggling to defeat him or himself or herself, and you're working hard to save such a person from such an implosion, political implosion. If P2B, former Governor P2B, former President Jonathan, Sheymakide will be a disaster for the PD. Allow them to be a disaster. The problem is that the strategic zoning to the south rattled the president, his presidency, and his party. Because the idea is to lock down the south, choke the life out of the political south, make it an impregnable fortress for the ruling party and the ruling president. So that you have to now levy political war on the north if there's anybody coming from there. But with Governor P2B or President Jonathan coming on board, the fact the south will be fragmented. The president will be limited to a south-south base or bastion. The other two zones will off his grip. And with Jonathan particularly, where there's no question about the one term or second term, they're not more likely close ranks and then throw their lot with him. Knowing that in 2031, he'll be such a liberal-minded president to permit them in consensual form to select who the successor is, rather than a guy who may hold power, not only win 2027, but determine and impose on the North who will be the president in 2031.